What's going on, y'all? So, y'all, I'm so frustrated. Okay, like I really want to get on here and be like so freaking cheerful. Maybe after my doctor's appointment tomorrow, and I find out exactly what's going on. Depending on how that goes, things will change. With my mood, because y'all, okay. And I was gonna put this on the main channel, but I just, I want to put some more content on here, and I don't want to neglect y'all. And see, this is the channel that I had determined was gonna be for like more personal things or whatever. But so for those that's not, subscribed to my main channel, I had surgery on July 8th recently. Well, July 8th, and the surgery was to remove a cyst that was on my ankle, okay? The inside of my ankle, it literally looked like a freaking golf ball was sticking out on my ankle. And the problem was that it was pressing against the nerve, and it was making my foot go numb, or it was making the nerves in my foot just go haywire. It was, and sometimes it'd do it simultaneously, and the shit was unbearable at one point, and that's why I had to look into getting it fixed. Because at first, when I first noticed it, it wasn't bothering me. You know what I'm saying? It was just there, like a regular cyst or whatever, and I thought it was gonna go away. I thought it was gonna go down, but in the span of a few months, and technically speaking, it was a year, because this happened. It's been a whole year since I seen this, since I first noticed it. Over a year it progressed, and then probably like in the last 3 months before I got the surgery, it just started, giving me issues. And it was like stuff that I didn't really notice and realize that was the cause of it. Like the first thing that I noticed was I would go take a shower, and I'm wondering how come my toe going numb a little bit when I'm standing in the shower on my one particular foot. And it was the foot that had the cyst on it, right? And I was just like, I didn't pay it no mind, because it wouldn't do it so often. It would just be like every once in a blue moon or whatever. So I just didn't pay it no mind or whatever, because, I said, maybe my nerves just acting up a little bit. Sometimes shit like that happen. But then I noticed that it kept on doing that a little bit more, doing that, and then other stuff started going on, like the side of the foot started getting numb. So it started worrying me a little bit, to the point where I literally was Googling everything. I was Googling the symptoms. I was Googling, like, why is my foot going numb? And I'm not even thinking about the cyst, okay? I'm not even thinking about the cyst. I'm like, why is one side of my foot going numb? Why is my heel bothering me? Why my toe going numb a little bit? Why is it that it hurts a little bit sometimes? And at that point, bitch, they was like, girl, this sound like, you Google shit, right? And it'll tell you, bitch, that you dying, okay? So it was like, child, it could be some diabetic foot. I said, hold on now, I ain't got diabetes, okay? I know that for sure. Every time I go to the doctor or whatever, because my mama has diabetes, so I make sure I do blood work to make sure that I don't have it, and I'm not in a range to get it. The only real issue that I have besides a weight problem is, blood pressure, but that has been under control, and not even being controlled by medicine. So my blood pressure has been really good for the most part. And that, I was just like, do I got diabetes? It literally had me thinking. So I had to talk to my doctor. We did blood tests and all that stuff. So no, that was wiped out. And then I just noticed that the cyst just kept getting bigger. And at this point, that's when I said, let me look up this cyst. Like, what is this? Okay. And so that's when I realized what it was. It said a ganglion cyst. It made sense, right? So I talked to the doctor about it, told me to go to an orthopedic, and I wound up going to the orthopedic, because at this point in time, when I tell you the shit became so unbearable, like I literally couldn't sleep certain ways. I had to sleep with my foot at an angle so that, the nerves won't act up, but because it act up worse at night. There would be times that I would wake the freak up, and it'd feel as though my goddamn foot was about to explode. But it looked normal. It looked like it wasn't red, it wasn't swollen, it wasn't nothing. It was my normal foot. And I feel like the most smallest part on my body is my ankle and my foot. You know what I'm saying? That area. And my mama always say, well, that's, you know why that's small, because that's like the size that you're supposed to be. I say, girl, shut up, okay? I already know that, but you know, you a big bitch, and so therefore I'm a big bitch, and everybody in my family a big bitch, okay? So it just runs in the family fatness, unfortunately, in different versions of it. So it's crazy, working on it, but hey, it is what it is. So when she said that, I just went to the doctor, and I finally went to the orthopedic, and then yeah, he confirmed it was a cyst. And he said it's sitting directly on the main nerve. I said, oh, okay, bitch, come on, let's get this done. So we finally get it done July 8th. And it is now August 1st. And the issues that I am having with this healing process is concerning to a certain extent because I didn't think that this would happen. Now, when I was getting on camera and I was still doing my reviews and stuff, I most likely was medicated because, you know, they give you pain reliever, whatever, like hydrocodone or something like that. That's what they gave me to, you know, deal with the pain. And I really wasn't taking it like that. You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, I just put my foot up. And, you know, that first week, I didn't even touch it. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't unwrap it. I couldn't get it wet or anything like that. So by the time that week passed and then I go to the doctor, they take the stitches out. She just took the stitches out that was on top. Now, it was closed together like this. I'm thinking that everything is going to be cool, right? And he put some paper stitches on there because he said, you know, it was still a little bit more swollen than he liked it to be. And I was like, okay, cool. So he put another cool compression on there, a dressing, and then another compression on top. And then I just had to keep my shit elevated or whatever. But it was good enough for me to go back to work. So when I came back the next week, he had to clean it up or whatever. But he said it was healing, but it wasn't healing as fast as he liked it to be, you know. And then at one point, he literally had to pull out a couple of stitchers that was inside. And I didn't know it was some stuff that was inside because he said, you know, when he had to do the surgery, he had to go deep because that's how deep the mass was. Like I guess the sac or the root of it, it just went really deep. So he had to go in there and get all of that out, which makes sense because my surgery was longer than it should have been, okay? Or longer than what he told me it was going to be. He told me it was going to be like 15, 20 minutes. And it wound up being almost an hour or over an hour. You know what I'm saying? Because he had to clean all that shit out. So from what I saw, he pulled out like, you know, when you put dissolvable stitches into a wound or whatever to close it up in the inside, he pulled a couple of those out. Maybe 3 at the most. And I realized at this point that when he was cleaning it too, I don't feel nothing. And he was like, just let me know if you feel anything or whatever. Mind you, he had a scalpel. He had a scalpel and a little cutter thing or whatever. I ain't really feel nothing. I only felt it when he pulled the stitches out in the inside because it was like a little pinch. But other than that, I didn't feel anything on the actual wound. But what is going on right now, you know, I'm washing it, I'm cleaning it. He said, flush it with the saline solution, put betadine on it. I have some triple antibiotic ointment. Mind you, this was last Wednesday, okay? Today is Monday. I was doing that for the past couple of days, right? And I would say probably like around Saturday when I was changing my bandages, and I do it often. And when I say often, I made sure to do it at least 3 times a day. You know, once I wake up, I do it in the afternoon, and probably a little bit more than that, but I damn sure do it when I wake up, do it in the afternoon, and I for sure put a clean bandage on when I go to sleep and make sure that it's clean or whatever. And I cleaned it in the shower. I cleaned it with the saline, you know, I let it dry, do all that stuff, and then I bandage it up so that it can't get infected. At least that's what I thought I was doing, right? Because come Saturday, one particular time, like I pulled the bandage back, and I don't even know. I was like, "Am I smelling something?" Because he did say, and you know, I'm being real with y'all. Okay, so we cool, so we can talk like this, you know. And I'm mostly putting this out here, especially for those that probably been through some shit like this, and y'all can give me some pointers and what I gotta look forward to, because I don't know, I ain't never been through nothing like this. Like, I've had surgeries, but I had surgery when I was a kid and nothing happened. You know, I recently had a surgery last year for my gallbladder, and those wounds healed up fine. I had no issue. And maybe because it wasn't an open wound. When they did that, it was 3 spots that they put into me, and then they stitched it up, and it literally looked like dots. Okay, so especially when they took the stitches out finally, it wasn't really nothing there. This is an open wound for the most part, and he told me the last doctor's a visit, you know, keep the boot on, do all of that stuff or whatever, fine. Clean it, of course. He said if you feel like you smell something, if you have a headache, like not a headache, but if you start having a fever, or if it looks like it's you know, if something is infected. And I'm sorry to get a little bit graphic for those that are eating or whatever, but when you have a wound and it's infected, and then stuff start coming out of it, I'm gonna say it like that, to make sure to call him so that I can get some antibiotics, because it's more than likely infected, right? So in my mind, I'm thinking that he's thinking, when he's saying this, he's saying it has to be all 3 of those, right? To this day, nothing is coming out of it, like liquid wise or anything disgusting. Haven't had a fever, nothing like that. But when I was changing it, probably like Saturday afternoon, I noticed a faint smell. And I'm thinking that, okay, because when I went to go wash it, it left, okay? Because I was like, all right, maybe it was just the medicine, the biotin or whatever, and everything that I put on there and all that stuff, and it being bandaged up, and it just need a little bit of air and all that shit, and it just need to be clean that shit off or whatever. By yesterday, it was stronger a little bit, and I was just like, oh my God. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, is it supposed to look like this? Like, it looked like it's closing, but it also looked like something ain't right, you know? And you know when you know when something ain't right, okay? If it just don't look right, 9 out of 10, something ain't right. And I just know that it's around it, it's still a little dark. I said, fuck it, bitch. The shit look kind of like it's dying, okay? And I know I had dead skin on it already that came off or whatever. That I guess that's part of the process, and that's what he was cleaning up as well. But around it, that's where it's tender. The actual freaking wound or whatever, the open, it's not even hurting right there. But it's around it that's tender. It's tender up my leg a little bit, like an inch up above the sore onto my leg or whatever. And I had to call him yesterday. I said, you know what, because at first I couldn't. I said, first of all, the office is not open on the weekends. So I decided to still call the number to see if I can finally get somebody, but they did have an emergency situation. So they connected me to him finally after I told the operator what was going on. And he was making it seem like, okay, I don't think it's anything that you need to go to the ER because you don't have a fever or anything like that, but I am going to just go ahead and put you in some antibiotics. I said, okay. And that's really what I wanted. And to be honest, I feel like that's what he should have did that first visit when I came back for the checkup last week. That's what I feel like he should have did. He should have just went on ahead and put the antibiotics in. After he had to do all of that stuff. You know, like I said, he had to clean it, he had to flush it. At one point, I had a little hematoma in there after he pulled the stitches out from the inside, and he was pushing out all that blood that was, you know, trapped up in there or whatever. So I was just like, maybe he should have just, I'm thinking, maybe he should have just gave me the antibiotics then. So now I was supposed to have a doctor's appointment to check up on it because he want to keep an eye on it. At least he wants to keep an eye on it. And we were supposed to have a doctor's appointment on Wednesday, but now since I told him about the smell or whatever, and he put me on the antibiotics and all that shit, and I'm so sorry if this is gross and graphic. I'm just venting because now I got to go to the doctor. He moved me up to go see him at his other location tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. And it's just frustrating, y'all. I was looking at it and I'm just like, oh my God. I was just thinking about it and it kind of just pissed me off. And the only reason why I did that is because, like, I ain't never had nothing like this happen. And 9 out of 10, it's probably not even his fault. It's just like, you know, shit happens. Like, sometimes your shit get infected or whatever, and it's like you thinking, what did you do? What did you do? And like, I did everything right. And sometimes shit just happen, and I feel like that's probably what it is. And I'm thinking, like, I think I'm overthinking it because my mind immediately went to, oh my God, what if you tell me we got to go back in and he got to go fix some stuff or whatever? And I just don't want another surgery. I don't want another surgery. That's why I'm hoping and praying that this antibiotics work. And you know, when you get antibiotics, it don't start working until, like, it don't fully get into your system until like 2 days after you start taking it. So I'm on day, I took 3 pills already. Took one yesterday, took one this morning. No, took one. Oh shit, bitch. Took one yesterday at 5:30. Took one this morning at 5:30. And then so I'm gonna take another one at 5:30. And then I'm gonna take the other one at 5:30 in the morning because you gotta take them 12 hours apart. The ones that I got. And them some big ass pills, bitch. I said, you trying to make me choke? I ain't got time for that, okay? I had to break that shit in half so I could swallow them. Because I don't want to chew them because I don't want to taste it. But, yeah, I'm just irritated for that because and then I'm trying to move. And this is being a hindrance. Like, I really, when stuff don't go right and it's out of my control, and I know it's probably like this for just about everybody, it just makes me for some people, well, it just frustrates the hell out of you. But for me, it frustrates me and it makes me overthink. And then it makes me just really, really upset. And then it makes me get into my feelings and it really depresses the fuck out of me because it's like I needed a simple solution to get the pain off from what was initially going on, and now there's another problem. And and maybe I'm overthinking it right now, but y'all, I'm over it. And then a friend of mine just called me, literally, I was probably like an hour into work and was like, you know, because they had to go to the hospital the day before. And they said their blood pressure was really low. They was dizzy. They was cold. Girl, come to find out they got Miss Girl. And this is their second time getting it. And they're not vaccinated. But there's a reason for that because their doctors, it's a lot. But now they're trying to see if they can get it, if it's safe for them. And it's the friend that has, you know, cancer. So, oh, Jesus Christ. It's just a lot, y'all. I just want to, you know, vent and get that out. I'm sorry this ain't a fun video. Like, have some of y'all ever done that? Like, has that ever happened to y'all where you had a surgery or something and something got infected and, you know, did the antibiotics work or whatever? What was the process? No, you know what? Don't freak me out because I'm freaked out enough. And that's the thing. You know what it is? I'm actually scared, okay? I'm actually scared about it because you just never think that something will go wrong. And sometimes the reason why you put off stuff is because you're scared that something might go wrong. And then when you finally do it and you're thinking it's okay and now something's going wrong. So it's like, I don't know, y'all. But once I get to see what's going on in the morning, hopefully he just keep on taking the antibiotics and he clean it up a little bit as much as he can. If it needs to be done like that internally. I don't know. I'm just not going to try to think about it too much. And speaking of, I'm about to go clean it now before I go back on the desk and change my bandages, just to be on the safe side, y'all, because I still got 3 more hours left at work before I can go home and do it. So, y'all pray for you, girl, okay? And hopefully the next time I come back on here to be for some cheerful, fun stuff. All right, I'll see y'all later. Peace.